What up, 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 what up? What's going on, America? Particularly the northeast side of the nation. What's going on, everybody? It's and Ball. We are getting ready to close out this NFL season. As you can see, Don is in the building. I'm in the building, but I had to save the best for last. It's our boy SKRAPP. It's his moment. Ladies and gentlemen, he is officially the first winner of the Brooklyn Beers and Ball Sports Show as a champion in the most coveted sport of all time, the NFL season. He stands as the Super Bowl champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please give deference to Mr. SKRAPP. Man, this is going to be a little tough for me and Don, but you know what? And sorry for the delay, guys. We're here, but we got the show. We had to give SKRAPP some time to enjoy. He was out partying for the last week or so, coming, now he's finally sobered down just a little bit, but he saved just enough for you and I today. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know SKRAPP was bringing it even when his team wasn't winning. So you can only imagine now as a Super Bowl champion, it's coming. But it's your boy Don and Rod. We are in the building with our boy, Super Bowl champion, Coach SKRAPP. We need you to like, share, subscribe. YouTube, we need you to get it on in Facebook. We need y'all to comment, come through Twitter, everywhere. We also got a TikTok. It's all good and dandy. Shout out to my brother Don. You know what I'm saying?
Said dandy? You said dandy?
I said.
Yeah, he said dandy.
I say dandy?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
we could be dandy.
We could be dandy.
We could be dandy.
Yeah, listen, we don't know what we might be when this is all over. SKRAPP's going to determine what we all going to end up being when it's all said and done. But listen, y'all know what to do. We here, Brooklyn Beers and Ball Sports Show. So, Don, before we go to, obviously, the man of the hour, how are you feeling, sir?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I want to give a shout out to my daughter. She celebrated her 15th birthday yesterday. Nice. So that was fantastic. Yeah, time is flying. Yeah, so feeling good about that. And, so we tried to put off. Rod didn't want to do this show. Let me just be honest before we go to the break and start the show. Rod didn't want to do this show, and he wanted to prolong it as far as he possibly could.
Y'all did a good job with that. Y'all did an excellent job.
And so when I was asking him, I was like, "Yo, when are we going to do the show?" And
2 weeks.
Night, no trepidation is going out, and it gets worse. The rebels.
NFC East to see a team in your division win and the way they won, it's more painful. I mean, I have to give it to the Eagles. They did what we couldn't do, right? So ultimately, hats off to them. But we're gonna get into all of that. SKRAPP. The majority of the show is going to be you taking your victory lap. So without further ado, let's get into it. As we discussed, Super Bowl was great because it was a blowout, and it was great beautiful because ultimately Kansas City did not three-peat. I would have loved for the 49ers to be the reason that they didn't even, have a back-to-back victory, but we could not get it done. Fortunately, the Eagles were the superior team. They just completely destroyed them. But I want to get SKRAPP's just his whole synopsis of what he thought the game was, how they dominated. I mean, from start to finish, really. It was, we could talk a little bit about the halftime show, but really, I mean, it was just a complete, as SKRAPP would say, pillage. They completely pillaged. What do you have to say?
You want to go, Rod, or you want to hear from me? Go ahead, Rod. Give your take. How you felt watching that?
Okay, listen. I'll make this very quick because we want to allot SKRAPP time to pontificate and share his thoughts on this game. like Donald said, it was a complete massacre. I've never, ever in my life seen Patrick Mahomes look so normalized. The way that the Eagles dominated that game, I did not expect that. I don't know if a lot of people did, for that matter, but shout out to Vic Fangio. I thought, in my opinion, and I did say this during the season, that I felt he was the difference, even more so than Kellen Moore and even the signing of Saquon, which we know was tremendous. But I think Vic Fangio made the difference for the Philadelphia Eagles for the entire year, and clearly it was evident in the Super Bowl. Complete domination, the front four. If you had to give credit, you know, which you can, obviously, but I'm talking about even from an MVP. You know, Super Bowl 12, and Don's going to get mad at me when I say this, but I just got to throw this in here a little bit. Super Bowl 12, Randy White and Harvey Martin were co-MVPs. It's the first time you see two defensive players win an MVP as co-MVP guys, because they dominate the game so much. That very well could have repeated in this Super Bowl. You could have given the whole front four the co-MVP accolades and just give them that honor. But Jalen Hurts, again, has outplayed Patrick Mahomes. And right now, you know, we could say a lot of different things. We know we got Josh, Lamar. We know about Burrow. And, of course, Mahomes is still otherworldly. I still think he's still above everybody else. But right now.
Yeah, he don't got nothing to be ashamed of, man. They didn't block for him. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, that front four was just too dominant. They made the difference. The back end, the whole defensive scheme that they had, the two-eye safety, and then just running their robbers across the middle of the field, keeping guys across from, going across the field, shutting it all down. Kelsey had no answer at all. He looked befuddled. So, again, shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, it hurts to see an NFC East opponent win, but nevertheless, it is what it is, and I gotta give deference to the Eagles, man. They did it, and they did it impressively. I have to say, I was very, very shocked, but at the same time impressed by how they came out and played that game. So that's my short take, on the Super Bowl.
All right, now what I'm gonna say is this, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised we won. I mean, I told y'all where we were going to end up once we signed Barkley. I told y'all where we was going. I said it to Don last year after they lost. I was like, all right, y'all had y'all turn. Next year it's our turn again. And y'all, y'all did what y'all normally do when y'all think I'm just talking just to talk. But what I will say is this. What did surprise me is how many points, how bad we beat him. I knew we was going to win, because I even told one of my coworkers, I said, we're going to win by at least 2 scores. And he told me, oh, you know what? Stay right here. I'm going to call the drug test guy. We're going to make sure you want to up and up. Like, he thought I was tripping. I'm like, I mean, even though I look at things through green colored glasses, like, y'all wasn't seeing what I was seeing. Like, our defense was by far superior. And the thing about it is, we sacked that dude 6 times, and we didn't even blitz him until late in the 3rd quarter. It's just our big guys beat up your big guys. And it was nothing they could do, man. And listen, let me tell you something. Listen, man, I'm not really one for speeches, man, but every Sunday morning, I come home, take a nap, get up, I put my jersey on one arm at a time, just like everybody else. I sit in front of the TV. I yell, I scream, I curse. I lay it all out on the field. I leave it all out on the couch every week. I bring nothing back. And I do that for moments like this. This is why I do it. I don't do it. I don't do it for anything else but this. This is all I do it for, baby. This is all I do it for. And it was good to finally see all my hard work come to fruition. When that clock hit all zeros, man, I was just like, I did it. I'm a champion. I did it. Can you believe this, fellas? I actually did it. I did it. Yes. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful just seeing Mahomes and Andy Reid just with no answer. They didn't have no answer for anything that we did. And the thing about it, we didn't do anything that was like complex. We just said, hey, we're coming where the ball is. And then when he threw the pick 6, and then when he threw the pick right after that, I was like, oh, man, this guy's frazzled, man. He's frazzled. He's not going to recover from this. Now, the beauty, about it for Kansas City is they'll always get the benefit of the doubt, okay? They'll say, hey, they was missing Rashee Rice. If he was there, then all the excuses. Remember, Don, I told you a couple seasons ago, it must be nice to be able to use if. You know, because they were like, well, if they had Rashee Rice, then it would have been if they would have did this, if that would have did this, if then that, and you know what? It's all, you know, sound reasonable to anybody that'll listen, you know. But listen, man. Yes, Unc, we did it. You see, I got mine, Unc. I got mine. Yeah, but listen, man. This doesn't change anything, man. I'm not too big for y'all. I'm not too big for y'all, man. You know, I'm not too big for y'all, man. I'm always listen. Tell them
you're always available still, right?
Yeah, look, I'm still the same person, man. I'm not gonna let this champagne and this Lombardi change me. Why would I? I ain't gonna let it change. And this is sparkling cider for the job in case they try to drug test me when I get there tonight. You know, they might see this and think the wrong thing, like, oh, we finally got him. No. This is sparkling cider, baby. But it's all going down smooth. It still got the bubbles in it. But yeah, man, I'm just listen, man. Thanks, P. As far as I'm going with that, appreciate you. But yeah, it's just funny because you know what I did after this? I went, you know, days after. You know, I didn't celebrate. I didn't go to the parade because if you've been to one, you've been to them all. I didn't go to the parade. I didn't do none of that. What I did,
I mean, you guys only been to. There was only 2 possible parades you could go to, right?
No,
maybe I shouldn't even.
The Sixers, the
subtle
Philly.
shot.
I mean, I went to.
Yeah,
I went to the first Eagles parade. If you, that's fine. It's fine. We Don know we're sworn enemies on the gridiron now, so he can take all the shots he wants. But what I'm saying is this: I went to the first Eagles parade, and it's never going to be one like the first. So, no matter. I mean, even though this was much more dominant and much more just, oh my God, it was like I don't see how y'all didn't watch this and just think. This is beautiful, man. This is a work. I'm watching Michelangelo paint a masterpiece right now.
Well, I thought. Let me tell you. I thought that the NFL. I think there's storylines, right? And I think the NFL likes to set up certain stuff. So the reason why, although I thought that the Chiefs were not as good as advertised, because I throughout the season said. There were a lot of things they were getting, calls that went their way, that extended drives. I had kind of highlighted that the whole time. My thing was that there was storylines that the NFL, they love to try to help, right? So there was talk that Travis Kelce was going to retire. There was talk that he was going to propose to Taylor Swift. There was a whole bunch of different storylines that I thought the NFL was going to try to. I mean, we know my take on the NFL as a whole, right? It's entertainment at the end of the day. So I was
definitely entertained.
The best team doesn't always win. In this instance, the best team won, right?
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't always happen. That doesn't always. So I understand that your memory is going to only be of the ninth moving forward. But if you watch the season throughout, there are a lot of times where we see that the Chiefs, and it started to kind of get some momentum that the Chiefs were getting a lot of calls. I had been saying that for years, and Rod kind of thought that it was just sour grapes because we lost to the Chiefs. But as it started to gain momentum, that a lot of people were highlighting that the Chiefs were getting the benefit of a lot of calls that were extending drives. Patrick Mahomes was getting a lot of calls, even in the Texans game. They were getting a lot of calls that were extending drives and allowing them to, I mean, he's still a great quarterback, still a great team for them to score. So I thought, I was like, oh man, I hope that the Chiefs, they don't set up this three-peat and, kind of make some calls. But you guys took it out. The reason why you were also successful, I have 2 points. The reason why you were successful is you did not allow it to be in the refs' hands down the line, okay? You were utterly dominant from beginning to end. So there was no, if you can squint, that looks like it was a pass interference, or that was a late hit, or it was just you guys dominated. The only thing I would take away and ask is to you, and maybe it doesn't matter because he got the ring. Saquon Barkley, the way that game played out, they could have did both. He could have gotten that rushing title, right? He could have been the all-time leading rusher in history, and he still could have won the Super Bowl. I don't think, I mean, the history is going to favor him because ultimately he made a team sacrifice, and you guys capitalized at the end and got the Super Bowl victory, right? So it was a win-win. I think it would have been even greater to have both. And I know you got the Lombardi, so I can barely see you. But that's man, listen, you can do whatever you want. Have the Lombardi. The Lombardi could finish this interview.
No.
That's fine. Yo,
I had to move him back. So you're right.
This is your stage. This is your opportunity, because then when this is over, when this wears off, right, and we are all back to, and we immerse ourselves in the NBA, then we have to discuss the process. So enjoy this now, because the process is coming. We're going to discuss Embiid. We're going to discuss Paul George putting up 2 points. We got all that to discuss, because that's part of Philly too, right? But we're going to enjoy. We're going to enjoy the Eagles. You guys, honestly, I hats off. Sirianni, I'm sure, is he's gold, right? As far as it's concerned. Saquon Barkley was, godsend to you guys. Yeah. Jalen Hurts cemented, because honestly, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes in both Super Bowls.
Twice.
Right?
Yes, he did.
He had a bad fumble in the last Super Bowl and a questionable call at the end where it was a pass interference. Yes,
but
it
even
was,
still,
but at that point,
even with the fumble and the holding, Bradbury admitted that he held him, so he held. It was a good call,
and it did happen. But usually, in those instances where it would cause a game, they're going to swallow the whistle. They're not going to They're not going to be the reason, right? Referees are really supposed to be. Yes, I know they have stripes and they're visible, but they're really supposed to be, invisible to the game. The players should play and make the decision. Sometimes the refs have their own egos and they want to insert themselves and kind of determine the outcome of the game.
Time. Yeah, they want TV time.
Yeah, of course. And especially if they got the gun showing, they want to have their arms up and they want to, Hockley wants to have his sleeves rolled up with a pack of, cools in them. They want to do all that. So I think they add themselves and insert themselves more than necessary, but,
What I'm gonna say about that last Super Bowl is this: even with the fumble and the bad call, we were still up 2 scores after that. Right. So what I don't understand is nobody mentioned that the defense never came out the locker room in the second half. We didn't stop them not one time in the second half. So the fumble, while you can say ultimately that was the difference in the game, it didn't have to be. If we would have played any defense in the second half, we still win that game. You see what I'm saying? He threw a bad interception like in the last week, but we didn't let that affect anything. We just still came out. We put foot, like Charles, like CJ GJ say, BTA, belt to you know what. We gave him the belt like we were supposed to. It's just, I think moving forward, I think that realistically we're set up to be good, maybe dominant for another 3 to 5 years. I know your team's going to be back, Don, and your team's going to be back.
Nothing else needs to be said.
I don't want to leave you out, Rod. But
it's all right.
Your team's going to be back, and they're going to be.
And Rod will be back on Brooklyn Beards and Ball. Yeah, so
Rod will be here, and
but you gotta also honestly watch out for Washington, only because of this. They have, I think, $70 million to spend. They got a lot of money. They got the quarterback position. They're going to be a team that you're gonna, and we can't forget Magic Johnson. Anything Magic Johnson is involved in, the team in short order has success. I'm talking about short order. There is a level of success, 2-3 years tops, and they're really competing for championships.
Yeah.
So I think that the East is probably a 2-team race. You know, the Giants ain't doing nothing.
Oh, no. With all the moves they made, I said Washington was going to be good this year, but nobody really paid attention. But what I will say about the Chiefs and the refs, and I think their fan base got so used to getting, crazy calls that when they didn't get them, because they've been crying on Twitter all week. Oh, Jalen Carter hit him in the face. I guess this is the penalty. Oh, AJ Brown pushed him in the face, but they threw a flag on it. And even on TV they were saying, wow, you normally let them play through that. But they were hand fighting and AJ hit him in the face, whatever. But the Jalen Carter, he scared me. I thought that he was going to have a bunch of those types of penalties because he overdoes it sometimes. He's a great player, but he got that DeMarcus Cousins syndrome. Like he just loses it sometimes. You see what I'm saying? Right. So what I thought that he was going to, cause us, at least 60 yards in penalties, 15 a while. I did. I did, but overall we dominated them. That's your word. You like to see domination. We dominated them
in victory.
No, he likes it in defeat. He dominated
domination is in defeat. Losses, but we dominate. Yeah, we know how to dominate and losing. Yeah,
it's really nothing they can say. Their fans can say. I mean, they're still a dynasty. They still, are the gold standard or whatever. But once you beat a team down like that, they got to look in the mirror at themselves and see what they got to do. If you look at the way they draft, all they draft is wide receivers. The last 3 drafts, the first pick was a wide receiver. They took Sky Moore, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. They taking all these little Tyreek Hill-esque wide receivers. They don't have nobody. They don't get no. And the way we draft from the inside out. We start in the trenches. We get offensive linemen, defensive linemen, because that's where the battle is won, in the trenches. And we showed them that. They had a good game plan for stopping Barkley, but they forgot we got all world on each side and a very good tight end. So you got to pick. You really had to pick your poison. You got to pick your poison, and it's just.
I wanted to say one thing though. Just 2 quick points. I will say what was alarming to me though was, and you said it, Scrap, there was no adjustment from Andy Reid.
It was none to be made.
Even an attempt to make an adjustment as badly as they were being dominated. But you would think at the minimum, right? You would have even though they weren't successful running the ball, but how do you stop a pass rush as dominant as they have, as your team has, right? And your line is not blocking. And so we understand how demoralizing that can be, right? But my thing is you would try to at least neutralize it as best as you can by still sticking with the run game, which they didn't even run the ball. They hardly ran the ball. And then there was no and the Eagles did sniff out a few of their screens, but I thought they would have done more things to get the ball out a little bit quicker. Done some things that when they would play more Brady ball, if you will, keep it short, do things where Mahomes can get the ball out quicker, because there was no way you was going to be able to overcome
drop back. Yeah, you couldn't. There was no time to drop back.
None of that. And I just felt like I said, wow, what is going on here? It's like they didn't even adjust to any of that. But then I would say the other part is going forward with the Chiefs, to your point about them getting kind of like these bigger possession receivers and so forth, if you will, right? I think what Kansas City, and this is why I do think they're going to be dangerous next year, they're going to restructure their team a little bit, where they're going to now have to get to the point where, okay, we can't rely on Mahomes the way we did for the past 6 years. He got us 3 chips, 5 Super Bowl appearances. We're going to need to now adjust and get him some help. And I think you're going to see a differently built team to a degree, to your point, Scrap. I think you're going to see more possession. You're going to see perhaps bigger receivers. They're going to definitely have to do some things with their line. And like the Eagles, their front office makes things happen. You're going to find a way. I don't care if you got $1 to spare in your cap, somehow or another, you're going to get like 5 future Hall of Famers that's going to end up on your squad.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what you'll see with the Chiefs. So there's going to be, I think the Chiefs will be, to me again, I still think they're the team that's dominating the AFC until otherwise said. I think they're going to be better come next year. because they're going to build around Mahomes a little bit better. I think they've gotten all that they can get out of Patrick, and I thought maybe they felt they can squeeze one more out of his magic, if you will, for this Super Bowl. But clearly, it just wasn't enough, and the Eagles are just way too dominant.
Did y'all see what I tagged y'all in when it was like Hurts' record against those top quarterbacks like who was it? Allen, Burrow, Jackson. I tagged y'all in it.
I don't think I saw that. I'm sorry. What
I blocked you. I blocked you. So. I blocked you. So.
I believe you. Come here, Reese. Come here. Here go my man Reese. Say what's up, Reese. Say roll.
Oh man.
All right, go ahead.
Congrats.
Go.
What was the record though, Scrap? What is Jalen's record?
It was something. I was more worried about the O part. I ain't worried about the first number. It was the O that got me. You know, it was O at the end, so it don't really matter. We're not gonna sit here and be braggadocious. I start get my big words together. You know.
Oh, nice. I like that. Do you think that? So we have a few questions. One, James asked the question: do we think Kelsey is washed? I would say Kelsey is now coming to. He is older. He doesn't have the same separation, and because teams can focus on him and take him away, he's not the dominant tight end that he once was. That could, regardless, always find a pocket to be open and get open somehow. Because it's not on the quarterback. The quarterback can get the ball anywhere, right? You do need time for a play to develop. They didn't have that this year. And truth be told, they didn't have it in years past. There just wasn't calls made. I have sent you guys counting. I have to plug this in. I sent you countless footage of Bosa being held, other defensive players being held. And Rod laughed at it, said it wasn't, anything. And it was, me just, okay.
I'm just saying, everybody gets held. Micah gets held. Bosa gets held.
Don't say Micah. Don't say Micah.
I mean, how many?
Well, Jalen Carter gets held. Jalen Carter gets held.
Everybody gets held. I mean, it's
all the
great
do.
ones are
That's
going to
what
get
you got to
held.
do to the good. Yeah, exactly. There you go. So you should take that as a compliment when they hold him.
Yeah, exactly.
And do we think Jalen Hurts? Next question. Do we think Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback? I will say he is a Super Bowl MVP. So you got to put him up there. If we're going on, what are we determining as being the what puts them top 5? Right? Winning percentage? Is it skill set? Is it he's top dog? If you're the champ, you got to beat the champ, right? He beat the champ. He beat arguably the best quarterback in the game. So that just by strength of schedule, if you will, that gives him a bump. I think that bumps him into the top 10. I don't know if that bumps him into the top 5. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback, in my opinion. Maybe Scrap thinks differently because,
Well, what are we basing this on? Are we basing it on?
That's what I'm asking. Got a smile. Ask the question. Is he a top 5? So.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Like, if in terms of winning, absolutely. Like, only one person won more games than him since he's been in the league, and he just beat him last week. Mahomes only won more games than him since he's been in the league, and Mahomes won one more game than him since he's been in the league. So, I mean, the way I feel about that is, like, the way we measure quarterbacks is, how many yards they throw for, how many touchdowns they throw for, but nobody really measures a quarterback on winning unless it's like unless they get all the yards and all the touchdowns and win. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you put all 3 of them together, then that makes you in Mahomes' stratosphere. Or Burrow, he wins a little, he made it to the Super Bowl, so he's automatically top 5. Josh Allen is a league MVP, even though, has he ever been out of the first round? Josh Allen, has he ever made it to the AFC?
Yeah.
He made it to the AFC Championship game. I don't remember ever seeing him there.
Remember that 13-second game where Tyreek Hill caught that pass?
Okay.
He balled out. He was, I think he threw 5 touchdowns that game. Something crazy.
Was that the AFC Championship
out.
game? I think
yeah.
You might be right. That might have been it. Yeah, that was the AFC Championship game.
That was it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because
so
you're not gonna see Mahomes really earlier than the AFC Championship game, right?
Right, the divisional round. He never plays the wild card round. So,
correct.
Okay, yeah. Well, what I'm gonna say about Hurts is put him where you want to. You know, at this point we're done proving ourselves to these people. Put me where you want.
No, give a realistic number. Is he in the top 10? Is he top 5? I mean, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. The check cashed, right? He got paid already. He got the Super Bowl. He got the MVP. You know, he's getting on the magazine covers. We had what's his name?
I saw him with Mickey Mouse. Oh, Nick Wright?
No, not Nick Wright. What's the dude? Oh man, he's on ESPN in the morning. He was hating, I guess, because Jalen Hurts is a handsome guy. So he was. I forget the guy's name. Collinsworth. Not Collinsworth. What's the guy's name? Foxworth. No. He's a black dude.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name. I know who you're talking about.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Dominic.
That's right.
Foxworthy.
He's a weirdo.
Foxworthy, yeah.
He's a weirdo.
He was commenting on Jalen Hurts' looks, and maybe that, I don't know if his take was, because that is, you can be two things at one time, right? You could be handsome and still be an athlete. You could be beautiful and still be an athlete if you're a woman. Okay, that's what you're saying. And from your mouth to God's ears. Okay, cool. That's what you say. Listen, I'm not gonna co-sign.
I've been handsome and a train dispatcher for 20 years, man. You can be both. You can be two things at once.
This is true. These things are true. These things are true.
But no, I don't. It seemed like they running out of things to nitpick about. Now you judging the man on his looks. Like, what are we talking about here? You know. But as far as Hurts being top 5, I would say, as far as winning go, he's top 2. Only one other quarterback won more games than him since he's been in the league. Now, if we going by stats and everything, if you don't want to put him in the top 5, put him 6, 7, wherever you want to put him. That's fine, because he don't put up those types of numbers. But we don't have that type of team where he has to put up those types of numbers. He gets the job done. He gets the dub. Do you realize when him and AJ Brown plays a whole game together, we're 15-0? We never lose when those two guys play a whole game together. It's just he wins. It's not pretty all the time. No, the tush push is probably the ugliest play in the history of football, but it puts 7 points on the board. It extends drives. It keeps our offense on the field. It frustrates the defense. So I mean, and that's not even the name of it. He said it on Kimmel. That's not what it's called. He said the people just made that up. I really think it's just called quarterback sneak. It's like, but they just what the media like to do with stuff, man. But I don't get caught up. I don't get caught up in the rankings and stuff, man. Because right now, if we ranked all the teams, and I think they even got us as 4th next year in the power rankings already. We're the 4th best team in the league next year or something like that. It's ridiculous.
I think it's going to be based on the fact of what your schedule is going to be. You should have, I would think, a difficult schedule, right? I mean, you won the Super Bowl, so your schedule.
I mean, it's
going to be easy.
It's going to be difficult looking to y'all, but to me,
all right, that's right. I forgot.
I mean, what are we doing here? I told y'all wasn't going to change. I told y'all wasn't going to change, man.
So do you think? Do you think you have an opportunity to repeat? You think you can go back to back?
Absolutely. Oh, didn't I tell you? Remember when y'all asked me, was I going to the parade? What did I say? I said I'll probably go next year. Did I not say that?
You didn't say what team, but you did say I'll go next year. I'll go to a parade next year. So we don't know what parade that might be. The parade.
Well, you was asking did I go to the parade? We're talking about the Eagles parade. I said no. I'll probably go next year. Of course we're going to repeat. Are you kidding me?
Well. So your schedule looks like you got the Bills. You got obviously your NFC East teams, right? So we'll aside from those teams, you got the Bills, you got the Packers, you got the Chiefs, you got the Chargers, Vikings.
It's going to be a gauntlet. Now I will say this.
For them,
because we
them.
played terrible, we have one of the easiest schedules.
I'm happy for you.
We have an easy schedule. It's going to be in our own backyard. So, you know, we have some motivation to play well, you know, and
so
should
we make reservations to meet up in the NFC Championship game in South Philly? Should we pencil you guys in? Should we get you a table? Should we get you a table for the NFC Championship game at the Wing?
Order me something from Geno's, a sandwich from Geno's, right? Is that the preferred place to go?
Listen. We're gonna have to tax you if you don't show up. If you don't show up, you're gonna get taxed. Now we'll reserve the table for you in the NFC.
Last time you saw us, last time we played each other, what happened? I can only go by the last time we played you. Now I can't speak of when you played the Cowboys and what happened during that last season or the season that just ended. But last time we played you, we did pretty good, and it's gonna be interesting. I'll say this:
y'all did better than good. Y'all did great. Y'all killed us. Y'all made us look in the mirror and say,
no rings for that.
We had to look ourselves in the mirror and say, "You're a champion." What? What'd he say?
I said we got no rings for that.
No. What James said.
Cowboys will go 2-0 versus the Eagles because you know it's their year. I think he's being facetious. That's why he has the. He put the 2 and the O in the wrong spot.
We're losing CD. How is that? I don't understand. What do you mean by that? How are we losing CD?
How about this? While we're talking about CD, and what's up with can we talk about Taylor Rooks? Is her name Taylor Rooks?
Yeah, I know Taylor Rooks. What did she do? Yeah, Taylor Rooks.
She went out with CD Lamb and Joe Burrow in the same weekend, and it was. And I don't know if
went out as in a date, you mean, or just out?
Yeah, they were seen out on dates. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow too? I thought Joe Burrow. Really? Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
Well, Taylor obviously likes losers, man. She likes hanging out with losers, man. Some people, you know, hey man,
Burrow. Somebody wrote in the chat though, and which I do agree. I mean, the Bengals, if they had a defense, their outcome might have been a little different. I don't know if they would have won it.
There's talk that they're going to franchise tag T. Higgins. Like, they don't want. Joe Burrow said that he is willing to restructure his deal so that they can keep T. Higgins. Now, the way the Patriots are willing to pay for receivers, a number one receiver, I don't know if it ain't that much restructuring in the world in order for them, because T. Higgins can get top money. So I don't know about the restructuring and being able to do all that.
Yeah, that's
what's up, champ. What's up, champ?
Listen, did you ask everyone from Broad Street to get on today?
Broad Street is on here, bro.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
these are people I've never seen. All these people that are on right now. What up, Chief? What up, champ? Do me a favor right now. Like, share, subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube page. We appreciate that. All the Broad on here. I want them to subscribe. I need these people because you got about 75 people that came on just to give shout outs to you know, this is a parade. Billy, if you on, Wallow, if you on, like, share, subscribe. No competition against your social media. Just say like, share, subscribe.
It's Rooks. I meet Taylor Rooks. She's a sideline analyst. Yeah, sideline reporter. Yeah, whatever you want to call her.
She's very beautiful. But I just think in the weekend span, that was kind of some information that came out, because initially she was out with CD Lamb, and you know, paparazzis are everywhere, right? We're in the social media age. Everyone has a camera phone. And then she was out with Joe Burrow, looking to have, it looked like a very nice dinner night out. So it wasn't casual where they were just, you know, people were standing next to each other and people assumed, especially with her and Joe Burrow. It looked like them. No. But why don't you, we have a sponsor now. You said Martinelli's is sponsoring us, is sponsoring this segment of, we can speak things into existence. You got Martinelli's as a sponsor for this segment of Brooklyn Beards and Ball.
They sent me a bottle, man. Said, listen, champ, man, champions drink what champions drink, man. You know, Martinelli's the drink of champions, man. Listen, man, I'm just fulfilling my contractual duties, man. Did y'all get y'all crow that I sent y'all? Did y'all like you gotta blend
because of the winter storm. Because of the winter storm, things are coming delayed.
So let me ask you this, Scrap. So what? I know you're still in championship celebratory mode, but any thoughts about the future of your OC position?
I think Frank Reich's coming back.
Really?
I think he's on. Yeah, so yeah, wait, listen, man, we good, man. Frank will be back, man. Take care of that. Kellen Moore, he just don't understand that he's not a head coach, man. But he keeps wanting to go get his check. Let him go get his money, man. But
yeah, I'm actually happy for Kellen. Glad he did it. I was happy to see Kellen.
Schottenheim is not a head coach. If we want to talk about who's not head coaches, Schottenheim
we don't know. We don't know.
Oh, wait. I shouldn't even go.
We didn't think Sirianni was going to be a Super Bowl winning coach and get 2 appearances to the Super Bowl. We don't know what Schottenheim is going to be. I'm not excited about the hire, but at this point, it is what it is, you know. But that's part of Jerry's ploy. He hangs on to coaches long enough, so when he fires them, the fan base is like, whatever now.
I wonder how much he's paying these coaches.
He's not a big coach payer. That's not Jerry.
Does he sell the experience? Does he sell the star rather than getting the talent at the coach? Like, yo, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. So we're going to pay you pennies on the dollar. You could probably get more.
Absolutely. He does that with his players too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's how the rich get rich.
I'm not. But the Lakers do it. Boston does it. Good franchise. New York used to do it with the Knicks a lot before people didn't kind of believe the Knicks were an attractive spot any longer, per se. But that's what big markets are going to do. I mean, yeah, because people do get endorsements. I mean, if you was owner of the Cowboys and you was worth, $10 to $12 billion, yeah, you would tell somebody that you'd say the same thing. But
y'all see my Super Bowl.
There's Scrap is yeah, there you go.
But is Dak really making $90 million this year coming up?
Who, Dak? 90? No,
yeah.
Dak's making 60. Him and what you call be making about the same amount.
Nah.
Him and Purdy.
Him and who?
You can't even get it out. You can't even get the lie out.
Oh yeah, Purdy about to get $200 million, man.
Donna wants to give him about $20 million.
I'm trying to explain to you. I'm trying to tell you guys, he will not get $60 million.
What is he going to get, D?
Honestly?
Yeah, honestly.
He's going to get probably in the range, and this is going, and I think this is tapping at the max. He's going to get in the 45 to 50 million range. Max.
Hey, James, if you're still out there, can you tell us what you think the 49ers are going to pay Brock Purdy? Donald,
he says, I'm good with 60. I'm good with 60 I'm good with 60. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't be good with 60? I'm thinking from a team struck 45 to $50 million. You are forgetting something important. Yes, he played well beyond his draft. Okay, let's be clear about that. He has played, but the question is, in the times that the teams, the way they are constructed, quarterbacks have to be able to do something outside of the team being stacked, right? So we've seen the San Francisco 49ers with a stacked team when the quarterback was getting $15 an hour, okay? When you now take a huge part of the cap, $60 million a year, and pay the quarterback, he has to be able to fulfill and plug in some of those holes that salary now creates.
They'll be able to do that though, because
you don't understand that. You don't understand that.
No. What I'm saying is they're going to do what Philly did, and that's basically Philly.
No. They're not going to do what Philly did. Don't do that.
He got a $5,255 million contract, Jalen Hurts, right? But they gave him a lot of guaranteed money up front, and his signing bonus is $23 million for that first hit. So what they're going to do is they're going to continue to keep kicking down the road. As long as you keep your team semi-competitive because you have a franchise quarterback, you can always tweak and make it work. So
you're in win now mode. So we can't be semi. We can't be semi.
But you have your franchise quarterback already. So all you're going to do is keep putting pieces. How do you think they're able to afford what do you call it? Who's the receivers that they got? Speaking of Philly, right?
Well, okay.
A decent tight end, a Jalen right now. He's on a rookie deal, right?
Tight end ain't getting paid no significant money.
And Brown, they're going to have to pay, and watch they pay him. They'll pay him.
Who?
They're going to pay
him. Who? Brown?
Vaughn,
Zach Vaughn?
Zach Vaughn.
Zach Vaughn?
Yeah,
I don't think they're paying linebacker.
Yeah, but are they linebacker?
Yeah,
he's gonna get a check. He's gonna get a check.
He's gonna
get a check. But understand this: a lot their main key players, especially on the defensive end, are getting. You're going to have to save somewhere, right?
That's why you upload the money.
You tell me this
so that you can create more space. That's all they're gonna do.
Okay, when you pay Micah, then we'll have this discussion. Micah is still getting paid pennies on the dollar. When he is paid in the top 5 of his position, you have a top 5, top 2, top number 1 quarterback, and you have a top 5 receiver. Then see what else you're able to put around it. You don't have that right now. You have 2 top tier positions.
You're right, because we
have way more.
But again, when you talk about creative teams that know how to creatively use the cap, such as the Niners and the Eagles and the Rams, even when everybody said that when they brought in Odell Beckham and they brought in what's his name, the cornerback there from Jacksonville. They said, the Niners, the Rams will never see another playoff. They'll never be back in the playoffs again, right? What do you see? They was able to creatively move stuff around and still restructure things because, again, as long as you still have a win now situation, you'll still be able to do it. Now, there'll be some sacrifices along the way, but overall, you're going to keep your Fred Warners. You're going to end up keeping, you just signed your other cornerback. You're letting Debo go.
I just read they might lose Greenlaw and Hufunga, whatever his name
Greenlaw, you're going to definitely keep.
Yeah, we're going
right.
to. No, it looks like
he's going to lose him.
You're going to pay your quarterback. You're not losing your quarterback, D. Purdy
no, right. They
said
they might lose Greenlaw and Hufunga.
Yeah.
Why would they lose them?
They want to get paid.
Okay, I tell you what.
Because they want to play for the Eagles. That's why they want to play for the Eagles, man. They don't want to stay out there and all that, man. I'm just being real with y'all, man. Like,
oh gosh.
Listen, the problem is, and this is Scrap would understand this more. Rod, not so much. You only have 3 players that are worth anything to your team. You only have 3 players. 3 players.
Well, right.
I don't know why your eyes are looking up. 3 players.
But our other guys are on rookie.
Who else is there? Who else is there on the Cowboys?
Overshown is a guy. He's hurt, but Overshown
is just naming people now, right? You just naming people now.
Now he's just
not Overshown. Is
Undershown.
Middle shown. He is a Pro Bowl. He was having a Pro Bowl season.
I'm a drink to that. I'm a drink to that. I'm a drink to undershown. To
undershown. Right.
I don't Sam Williams is definitely a very solid pass rusher. These are the guys y'all don't know about because y'all don't watch Dallas like that. Sam Williams, he's a very good pass rusher.
We don't know about him when we play him.
Wake up! Wake up out of your sleep! Wake up! I command you in the name of
right. Wake up! You have 3 players.
Ziggy and OC Biggie is a very good pass. He gets double-digit sacks as a defensive tackle. He's very good.
This is the question I got to ask.
We need to consider.
What I mean is when I say top players, are any of those players outside of CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and Micah Parsons ever going to be in the top 5 paid in their position? Just a simple yes or no.
No.
Bland very well could be. Yes, I believe he will be. Bland, yes.
He's injured every year. What are you talking about?
He's only injured 1 year. He got injured the last year, and then he came back late this season. He only got injured once.
And what happened to him this year?
He got the injury bug. He ain't Embiid. He plays.
Oh, whoa.
Wait a minute.
Whoa, where did that come from?
Whoa.
Embiid is an MVP, so he's definitely not
him.
What's
going on?
Embiid is an MVP, so
I had to come on, man. I had to get one in. See, D brought it out of me. I was trying to chill.
What I'm saying is he understands. Scrap, the Eagles understand. You gotta pay. You have to pay a quarterback. You got a top tier running back. You got top tier receivers. You don't have that. You don't. The Cowboys. You have a vacuum. You have a vacuum at the top. You got 2 players that are getting paid top 5, and you have one that you know you're gonna have to back up the Brinks truck. We have. Think about it. We have top tier receivers.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Because they don't know. They don't know. They have no idea. These dudes don't watch.
Ask him who his team is. If I remember, he's a Jet fan. Is he a Jet fan?
Okay. Well, that's a Jet fan that understands.
He don't know what talent looks like. He don't know what talent looks like.
He
don't know what talent looks like.
He, like his team, doesn't know what talent is.
Thank you.
You put the Jets, and he's not responsible for it, but they structured their whole team around a 40-year-old quarterback. And you know who was a problem on his last team? They brought all of his buddies in, a coach that couldn't coach. They brought in any receiver that he said for what? For him to play
to lose
4 downs and be done for the season, then come back, look terrible for half the season, and the back half.
But to the Jets' defense, let's just keep it. If we put this in perspective, all right, they had everything already going. They had a good running back, a number 1 receiver. They had an all-world defense, they had a top 5 defense. They were only missing at the quarterback position. So you can't fault them for going all in with Aaron Rodgers, who got hurt the first time, which now he was already an older quarterback. So losing that year obviously put them at a detriment because now he gets 1 year older. So now he's going to lose some of that skill set. But to their defense, you can't blame them for bringing in Aaron Rodgers when they brought him in. They were only a quarterback away. That team was a good team. The Jets were a good team. So
all of the players that you said, the skilled players, have actually went backwards, right? When you think of their running game suffered, right? When you think of how dominant their running back was, when Aaron Rodgers comes, no, they were doing decent. I think they ended up with the same record. In spite of, with Aaron Rodgers, I think they ended up with a worse record this year.
Aaron Rodgers had, I believe, because Aaron Rodgers, again, he lost another year. So being out that year when he first signed and went down after 3 plays in game 1, I think it impacted them. So the next year, they just didn't have it. And then Salah and then Rodgers started getting into their own little thing, and then that got out of control. So they just thought it really wasn't so much their players as much as it was to me in my mind, the internal.
I don't know what you're talking about, me. What are you talking about?
What share with us? I said getting Rodgers was a huge mistake. Yeah, it was. It was a huge mistake.
I don't think at the time,
but of course,
at that time.
I will say this. When you are the little brother to a team in a big city like New York, you need to get the headlines. Nothing would be bigger. You got to make a splash. Bringing Aaron Rodgers, first ballot Hall of Famer, is going to, get everyone's focus on what the Jets. And as you said, Breece Hall, they had Garrett Wilson. They had a really top 5 defense.
And a shutdown corner. And they had a number 1 corner, too. So I'm saying it. But we can't, if we're honest with ourselves, we can't sit here and say that when the Jets made that move for Aaron Rodgers, that at that moment, that was a bad idea. Now, we're saying it in hindsight. Now we want to go.
What's up, champ?
Everyone that says champ, go to like, share, subscribe to our Facebook. Because these are new time people. These are first time people are ever coming here.
No, Mac been on here before. Mac been on here plenty of times.
I know he has.
This is good.
Mac is a woman. Mac is a girl.
Oh, Mac
is a woman.
Hey, Mac, how you doing?
What's good,
Thank you. And I remember that she has been on the show. But like, share, subscribe to our Facebook, YouTube page. I will say this. Glenn, I think, is a good hire.
Yeah,
I think he is already establishing himself as someone that's not going to be in the shadow of the star quarterback. He is taking questions on New York City, as we all know, is a tough place to coach, right? As Philly, you're going to have to, that media is relentless, right? So you can't cow down to the media. You're going to have to be 10 toes down on what you think, have your opinion, kind of control the team, control the narrative. And I think it's going to be good. Listen, because I don't know how much more time we have, but we do need to talk about the All-Star game. We do need to talk about, does the All-Star game, and I'm going to pose this question to you guys, does the All-Star game need to be canceled? Just finished. Like they have tried to reformat, and they've said they've been trying to change who East Coast, West Coast,
the players.
This team, that team. They
done shot for captains.
Yeah,
they done play pickup.
They're playing Skelly to see who the captain is going to be. Only certain people will know what Skelly is. Y'all remember Skelly as kids?
Yeah, I remember Skelly.
It's like it's too much stuff. It's too much. I will say this, and I know Rod. This may trigger Rod. LeBron James had an opportunity, and of course he is all centered. I looked in the definition before the show, and I wanted to look at him typing stuff to try to retort. You hear the typing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I looked up the word in. I did a Google search as to the definition. I wanted to be specific about the definition of selfish.
Oh,
of a personal action or motive lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. That's LeBron James. LeBron James had an opportunity to say, hey, guys, how big is your ego where you feel an all-star weekend with other big name superstars that you had to withhold the fact that you were injured to the last second so another person who could have been named to the all-star team would have had an opportunity to showcase and play before a big stage. All eyes were on the NBA this weekend. But instead, you wait till the last second to tell people that you're injured, pull out at the last minute, and now a replacement can't be made, causing your team to play undermanned, understaffed, and you still want to be in the pictures, and you want to be centered in the picture, and you're not wearing a uniform, you're wearing street clothes. That is the definition of selfish. Michael Jordan would never.
Oh, Michael Jordan, stop it. So you better stop this nonsense.
Michael Jordan would never. He would never do that.
Nobody more selfish than Michael Jordan, and we know that. Look, we know Michael Jordan was great. No, and I would pick him over LeBron 10 times over, no doubt. But
this is new. What do you?
No, it's not new. It's not new. I only defend LeBron to the point because he's in the uniform. He's in the uniform, so I got. He's in the uniform. It's uniform.
I thought that
first.
we were going to give
objective takes.
First.
Huh?
I thought we were giving objective takes because you always.
No. It's objective, but again, he's with the Lakers, so I gotta defend him a little bit. But what I'm saying is, again, and Jordan said it a million times over, there is no such thing as the greatest player of all time. We know that. And Jordan was the greatest of his era. LeBron is the greatest of his era. We can't. I think we do a disservice to LeBron. Poor LeBron. He's got to get compared against Kobe, and he got to get compared against Jordan. So it's only speaking to.
That's what they do.
But Jordan was very selfish as a player.
He put himself in that position. He put himself in that position to be compared to both, right?
By saying what? Did he?
Number one, going to the Lakers, you're always going to be compared to Kobe, right? You go into the Lakers. Listen, Kobe is, when you think Lakers, of course you think Magic, Kareem, but Kobe is right there. LeBron going there he arguably has to put himself in comparison with Kobe Bryant.
But nobody's going to compare him to Kobe in this. Well, they did, but at the end of the day, he's never going to match Kobe. There's too much love for Kobe. Kobe is a homer. He was born and raised in LA, if you will. So Jordan, I mean, LeBron knew what he was going to walk into, but yeah.
LeBron,
he knows.
He put himself in that, category when on his show, The Shop, he said, and verbatim, I became the GOAT when I won a championship for Cleveland. He said, I became the GOAT then. He self-proclaimed himself the GOAT.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Rob?
I would have to disagree with LeBron on that. So yeah, I mean, you're going to catch heat for that. But I think some of the other vitriol that he gets is I think is somewhat unfair. But yeah, to call yourself the GOAT because he won a championship in Cleveland, to leave a team and then come back and win a chip for them, I mean, you know,
after he came back tooled up. He came back tooled up. He didn't just come back and just win. He came back and revamped the team and brought in, you know, top players at their position.
I mean, he brought in some pieces. And Kevin Love was the biggest
some
addition.
pieces.
Kyrie was already there. Kyrie was already there. They already drafted Kyrie. Kyrie was already there. It's the only one he brought. He let go of old boy who was with the Golden State Warriors. What's his name?
Wiggins.
Right. He let Wiggins was a rookie. He let Wiggins go. He said, "Nah, I can't win no rookies." Bring in Kevin Love. He was balling in Minnesota, so that was really the major addition that he made. You know,
every team that he's gone on, he has restructured the team to make it most advantageous for him. He is responsible.
Why doesn't he do that?
I might add, is responsible for over 10 coaches being fired in his career.
Who?
That is every 2 year, given that he's been playing for 20 plus years. Every 2 years, he gets a head coach fired. Yep. Michael Jordan would never.
Would never.
Well, yeah.
Jordan, let me tell you something. Jordan, if he could have had his way, Jordan would have probably ruined his career if Jerry Krause didn't push back on him. Jordan didn't want Phil. Jordan wanted to play while he was injured. Jordan didn't want coach. Jordan didn't want a lot of the guys that were put in there.
You said Jordan wanted. You said Jordan wanted to play.
Because he was jealous that Krause was saying coach was going to be my man.
Hold on. Something else. You said Jordan wanted to play while he was injured.
Yeah, he wanted to come. When Krause shut him down in his earlier year when he got hurt.
He broke his foot. You talking about when he broke his foot?
Yeah, when he broke his leg or something.
His second year, or whatever it was. I can't remember the exact injury. But he wanted to but he didn't like the fact he wanted to still win in the play. He wanted to get to the playoffs. Krause said no, forget the playoffs.
So he wanted to play.
He wanted to play. You can even go back to the Last Dance documentary. Will tell you that.
Yeah. And here we have LeBron not
load management.
What I'm trying to say is that, but what I'm trying to say is that you're faulting LeBron for making decisions on how to build his team, but Jordan had the same ideas for whatever he wanted to do too. It's just that the game was different. The players didn't have that level of empowerment that these players have today. So the truth is, give a lot of credit to Jerry Krause for saving Jordan's career. Because if it wasn't for Krause, Jordan wouldn't be where he is.
I'm just trying to get this right. Jordan says, my foot's broke, but I want to play. And LeBron says, go get me the best players at these positions. And that's the same?
It's the same in theory because
it's
the same in theory because
I need it. You gotta give it to me right now.
Jordan had of how
you hear that nutso? The boy here says he owes me. He owes me.
Because it's the truth. Jordan had ideas of how he felt the team should have been ran or what they should be doing. Okay, down to what the coaches, the players. Jordan, you can even go back to the Last Dance documentary. You could see that. But Krause shut him down on a lot of stuff because Krause knew what it took to win and build that team. Jordan didn't, but Jordan had an idea. If Krause would have said, look, we're going to defer to you, Michael. Do whatever you want to do. You don't think Michael would have done the same thing LeBron was doing the last 15 years of his career? Sure, he would have. So. I'm not saying he would have brought in other players.
Exactly. But what I'm saying that's a big thing.
That's what we're talking about.
But you think he would have said, Larry, hey, why don't you join with me? Why don't Paul Malone, let's get together. Yeah. You think Michael Jordan would see? That's the difference. When you are a top tier player, you want the competition. You don't want to level the playing field. LeBron, people like to kind of hide the description of him trying to add that with, he's a good guy. He likes to play with everyone. He likes to get his other players involved. LeBron is looking for assistance.
Okay, but let me ask you this though, D.
Jordan is a apex predator that wants to bring it to you.
He wants to hunt.
I don't disagree with you there at all. I totally agree with you. I fault LeBron for that. But at the end of the day, despite the teams that LeBron put together, those teams are not winning without LeBron. I don't think it take away from how great LeBron was over his career. He still was the main reason why any team had any success when he played on that team. It didn't diminish his greatness as far as being better than anybody else that was on the court. When was LeBron not the best player on the court for the most part of his career? You know what I'm trying to say? So we can't take that away.
I hear what you're saying. You can't take it away from him, but what happened to the spirit of competitiveness? Like,
I agree with you there. I don't disagree.
Any player from Jordan's era would say, I don't want to play with him, pause. I want to beat them, double pause.
Yeah, I agree.
See what I'm saying? Back in then, it was a food chain, and you had to establish yourself on said food chain.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay?
LeBron is the collaborative GOAT. How about that? Can we say that? He's the collaborative GOAT.
What's a collaborative? I think he's the greatest of his era. That's all I would say. I don't know about the collaborative.
He always want to collab with somebody.
Collaborative GOAT. That means he is the best player to want other stars to play with him. He is a collaborative GOAT. He is the greatest. Give me Bosh. Let me join Wade. Let me see about Anthony Davis. Let me get Luka. And let's talk about that.
Well, why are we blaming only LeBron for that? I mean, D Wade and Melo was part of that too. They all collaborated together. It ain't like LeBron came to them with a mastermind plan and said, "Hey guys, play with me." That they was in on that too. So why D Wade don't get no flack for that?
Because he is not considered. They are not considered. They are not considered the greatest of all time.
Because they exactly that too.
Right, but that's the point I'm trying to make. So it didn't diminish still LeBron's greatness, even though he contrived with these other players that were in on it as well. But
he should have did
lesser players, right? Lesser players.
They weren't as good as LeBron. Wade is not as good as LeBron.
He should have made them
Jordan would never. Jordan would never.
He should have made Wade and Bosh come to Cleveland. That's what he should have did. He should have made Wade and Bosh come to Cleveland. He looked weak going. Oh, got a thing going on.
Yeah.
Well,
he should have made Wade and Bosh come to Cleveland.
Gilbert would have done that. Gilbert probably wouldn't have done that, and he was already at odds with Gilbert as it was. So you know their relationship had already fractured by that point.
When he called him out as a quitter, right? When he said that he quit on him, right? Yeah. And let me just say this. LeBron James, do we agree, Rod? Since you are the LeBron
No, I'm Jordan. Well, honestly, my greatest all time is Magic. I'll take Magic before Jordan or even Jordan or LeBron, in my opinion. But you know, that's
so me. Let me just ask you this: since you defend LeBron the most
because he's in the Laker uniform, I only defend him.
And that's fine. Yeah. Did LeBron know? And we can all agree that LeBron is calculated in everything he does. There is no miss anything, right? He doesn't skip a beat. His PR team knows that everything he does, every move is a calculated step to bring you closer. All right. So since we know that every move is a calculated step, are you suggesting or do you believe that LeBron did not know that Anthony Davis was getting traded? Do you really think that Clutch Sports, who represents Anthony Davis, there was nothing leaked about this? This was a complete move in the dark at midnight. They didn't know, and then bow, he's traded.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree. I think this is the one time where LeBron was in the dark, because if you go back to and there was a very, very, very good article that ESPN wrote. I forget the guy's name, but when you talk about what the GM from Dallas and Rob Pelinka, you go back to their history, okay, because they met through Kobe in the whole nine, and this whole thing was kept under wraps. This was under wraps for about almost a month before, or a month and a half before the trade was even made. And they wanted to keep it a secret because they knew that if it got out, then either the league would have debunked it, owners would have got involved, LeBron would have probably brought it to trade. There was a lot of things that would have gotten involved, and they didn't want to do that. And the ownership came out and said, "Look, get Luka out. We don't want Luka because he's not Kobe, he's not Michael. He don't want to work. Whatever. Right." So the GM is unjustly getting ridiculed and excoriated for this trade when he had nothing to do with it. It was the ownership that put this together. They kept, and that's why the ownership kept it on the wraps. Don't you know that, and this is what Bus told Jeannie and her brother during the ownership meeting that they had back when Chris Paul back in 2011, and he told his children, don't say nothing about Chris Paul coming to the Lakers because it's going to get stopped. Stern is going to stop it. They open their mouths and bring it up, and it got into a discussion with the league, and then that's how the whole thing got shut down. Because he told them, don't say nothing. And this is what they had to learn with this trade with AD. They shut it down, and he threw Rob Pelinka and said, yo, you my man. I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to give you Luka. You give me AD. Nobody had to know about it because he was already in power by the ownership of Dallas to make that trade.
That's crazy.
He's not going to turn that down. And I don't think LeBron knew anything. He didn't know nothing. LeBron didn't know a thing. And now it's no longer LeBron's team. It's all around Luka now. LeBron has lost all leverage.
That's crazy.
All power.
But fellas, real quick. I gotta get ready to go. But I just gotta hold on, let me see.
Go ahead, sir. It's your day.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta get ready for work. But before I go, I just gotta leave y'all with one more thing. Let them have it. Keep going. You get a high note. Because we are the champions of the world.
That's good. That's good.
I gotta get ready for work, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Man, yeah, we understand, bro. No doubt,
Beautiful
man. Congratulations,
season,
Scrap. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
Congratulations. Well deserved.
Well deserved.
Thanks,
well
man.
deserved.
Thanks, man.
Well
I appreciate
deserved.
it. I appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, man. So listen, next show we can talk about the process and all that, man. But right now I'm gonna finish my Martinellis and get ready for work, man.
Feeling good, huh? Feeling good.
Absolutely.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, bro. Nothing wrong with that, man.
All right, fellas.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Scrap.
Later.
This is my brother.
Rod, listen. Yeah, I know you're going to defend LeBron to the end, but we'll see.
No.
Time is going to tell.
I agree with you. I agree with all your takes, especially this whole thing of contriving his teams. I mean, the teams he built and playing with stars. I never agreed with that with LeBron. I ridiculed him for that for years before he came to the Lakers, and it is what it is.
And now you love it. Now you're like, yeah.
No, I'm not a fan of it, but I'm gonna take them W's. Right.
Bring the change. Just bring the change.
Bring AD over.
Right. So let me, before we wrap up, where do you think the Lakers, how far can the Lakers go?
Probably second round, but I wouldn't be surprised. If, depending on how things shake out, if we even got to a conference championship, but we're not going to win it all.
But not with no center. What are you guys doing? You got no big man. What are you going to do?
Yeah, but I mean, the only real big man you got to worry about for the most part is
not the only one.
It's with if I'm taking a quick perusal of the landscape, would be Denver. You know,
so,
and I mean, you got Jackson
OKC don't have no big men.
I mean, Memphis, huh?
OKC don't got no big men.
You got Chet. Yeah, Chet's a problem. Yeah, Chet's a problem. Yeah, but that's what I say maybe
you got wing defenders. You got threes. You got SGA. Yeah, I think it's.
I mean, we did beat OKC though in this winning streak we've been on, but that was when we had AD, of course. So
Shannon Sharp had been super disrespectful to OKC and said, if you guys, as team constructed, not with AD,
right?
Because people forget that Luka is a defensive liability.
He is.
LeBron is 40,
no doubt,
right?
Yeah, I agree.
And what's his name? AR-15 is a defensive liability.
He is. Yeah. AR suspect on defense. No question.
So how much you would have to your mode or your path to victory would have to be scoring 150 points a game. You're not going to be able to do that. Even if Luka has and we know we've seen him bowl out 40-point triple-double in the playoffs. But if he does that, this is the thing that I think it seems like it's seamless because LeBron is such a great player. But I think down the line we will see, and this is All-Star Weekend, according to Rod, this is when the season starts. Yep. There is going to be a problem because Luka is he's kind of just getting his feet wet.
Yeah.
His usage does not allow for LeBron and LeBron's usage, right? As much as, LeBron will play off the ball and he wants a superstar to take the mantle and they want to, give somebody and he wants to get this person. Easier said than done. When that usage goes and Luka has the ball in his hands and he's dribbling and going between his legs and slow and there's only 5 seconds left on the clock, we're going to see how that model works.
Well, I mean, it's worked very well for Luka because when Luka's got 5 seconds on the clock, he's still it's all coochie. It don't matter. He's still going to score. The thing is that they'll figure it out how to work, just like Kyrie and Luka did when nobody thought that would work. I think they'll.
Well, I thought it was going to work, but I get what you're saying. I do think this though. This is the problem. They play two different types. Him and Kyrie play two different positions. The way they are structured, the way that they play. Right. Him and LeBron play very similar, and LeBron is more downhill, right? Used to be, but now LeBron doesn't. He has to establish other parts of his game because he's the oldest player in the NBA. He doesn't have the same. He has to preserve himself on the offensive end and the defensive end. So I think, how do you do that? Slowing the ball down. LeBron is used to doing that with the ball in his hands. Having the ball, because he's not a three-point shooter, right? No. So it's not like you can set LeBron up, right? Like if Luka has the ball in his hands like that and he's looking to set LeBron up, I think that there's just going to be a cultural kind of shift, and he's going to have to get used to it.
I think it's going to be really you only thinking about the fourth quarter, right? Who's going to be the one that's going to be your facilitator and then your end result player in the fourth quarter? Is that going to be LeBron or is that going to be Luka? Most likely it's going to be Luka. LeBron's going to set Luka up because, again, he's going to spread the floor. Defenses are going to be stressed because you got Luka and you still have AR who can score as well. So, again, and you still have LeBron who's still putting up 26 a game. So I'm saying it's the defense got to pick their poison, but I think you'll see LeBron.
2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4 all the time.
And Luka's going to score. Luka, D, that's a crazy stat. The dude he's the third time in NBA history scoring the most points, averaging the most points per game in the history of the NBA. He's third behind Kareem and Jordan. That's crazy.
So now you like statistics to hold some weight. When I mentioned that, and this is off the subject, but somewhat on the subject, when I said when Kevin Durant was the third fastest to 30,000 points, you had something to say about it. Now, of course, it wasn't on the show. It was, on our text thread. You were like trying to, detract from the fact that Kevin Durant is a scoring machine.
Right. But
he is arguably one of the best scorers ever.
He is. And one of the most efficient ones. I will concur. I don't take that away from KD. KD is a great scorer. My issue with KD is the same issues for why you excoriate LeBron. He's a bus rider. But LeBron
is LeBron a bus rider? LeBron is a bus rider? Because I don't want this to go into another 2-hour show.
No, LeBron is a bus rider. Because LeBron was the best. No, he wasn't a bus rider. Because LeBron, win or lose, LeBron is going to fix his team up, right? And make it to where it's got to be. But at the end of the day, KD is a dude who took on and went to a team that was already champions. LeBron never went to a championship team. He went to
Wade already had a championship when LeBron got there. Is that true?
Yeah, but that was before. But
before. It's always got to be
but
before,
he was a bad team when LeBron and Bosh got there. That was years before when Shaq was there. They had already fell off since then. They weren't.
So the definition, in my opinion, and we'll get people after the show, when they watch it again on the retake, see if you agree with this take. A bus rider for me is a person that comes to a team and is an addendum. They're added to the team just to almost to the point where they're just making teams even, right?
All right, go ahead. What else? What else do you want to add to that definition? That sounds like what KD's done so far.
No. So what the distinct difference is a bus rider cannot be the best player on the team. It's impossible for a person to be a bus rider if you're the bus driver. So the passengers are the passengers more important than the bus driver, the person that is driving the bus, or are they sitting back enjoying the ride? KD, tell me a trick, tell me a team that he went to and he was not the best player at the time when he stepped foot on the court.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you, Steph Curry was the bus driver, and Curry is better than KD. KD came on. Listen, you don't think Steph Curry won 2 chips without KD, and KD only won because of Steph Curry being there to take the focus off of him. So
take the focus off of who?
Huh?
Take the focus off of who?
He's a bus rider, not a bus driver. So to your point, the bus driver is more important than the bus rider. Steph is the bus driver. KD was a bus rider.
How can he be the bus
benefited from Steph?
Oh my goodness.
And Clay.
How could he be the bus driver if he was not the best player?
But he what? What do you mean?
So let me ask you a question.
Bus driver is the best player. That's how I'm seeing it.
I'm trying to fit it into your kind of description of it. Is Kevin Durant better than Steph Curry? When he won those championships, when he won those 2 MVPs, who was the better player?
KD was the better player in those championship games, but he's overall, I don't think he's better than Steph. No, I don't. I don't think he's better than Steph.
Okay.
I don't think he's better than Steph. Steph led 2 teams to a finals championship.
He did not lead.
Better shooter.
Let's be clear. He did not lead 2 teams to anything.
And he changed the dynamic of the game. The way the game was played today is.
He did not lead 2 teams to anything. Because when we look, Steph Curry was not in those championships. The one of them where he won the MVP, rightfully so. But the other one, he was not. He was getting bottled up by Dellavedova. Let's not forget about that.
He didn't play well in those. No, he didn't play well in the first finals, and he did not. No, he did. And the second one that they lost when they lost to Cleveland, and they did. And he probably would have lost even still because Kyrie was busting his cheese in game 1. So of that final. So I agree with you there. But if you're going to compare him and KD as far as the best players on the team, there's no way you're going to be able to say KD emerges as a champion twice and an MVP twice and get to 3 finals in a row if it was not for him playing with Steph and Clay.
So how come when KD got hurt, Steph Curry couldn't bring them over the top for the 3-peat? Why couldn't, if Steph Curry was the best player and Kevin Durant was just on it, he was just going for the ride, how come when KD got hurt, they were banking on KD to come and save them? Why didn't Steph Curry say, okay, I carried you enough. It's time for me to take my rightful place.
Because I don't think the reason why he couldn't been because Clay got hurt. And again, you do need another good player. Jordan is out winning 6 rings if Scottie Pippen was compromising any of them series finals.
And LeBron is not winning if AD, Bosh, Wade.
Right, I agree with that. I agree with that. That's fair to say. Magic doesn't win 5 chips if it's not for Kareem and vice versa, and without Worthy. I mean, everybody, right. But my point is that, but again, when you look at what KD has done to win his chips, KD has gone to Brooklyn, failed.
You just don't like
KD can't. He did lead OKC to 1 finals, right? He did lead them to a final. There was a young team, with Harden, who was coming off the bench at the time. There was a young team. But I like KD, but KD is not. I'm not putting him in the same era as in the same conversation, other than the other great ones that has won chips with teams that they led. Steph led the team. When you look at Steph and Clay, you're putting Steph first. It's Steph's team. Golden State is Steph's team. And when you even win right now, D, if you're honest, when you look at the Warriors and their dynasty, who are you going to go back and say whose team was that? You're not going to say that was KD's team.
Only because it was he was drafted. When only because Steph was drafted by the Warriors. If it was not for that, during that time when Kevin Durant was on the Warriors, that dominance was brought to another level, and it was because of Kevin Durant. Solely because of Kevin Durant.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It shows what his average was in the playoffs.
Are culpable, in my opinion, for changing the entire landscape of the league, right? Because you got KD, one of the most proficient scorers of all time, joining an already championship team that just won 73 games with an all-world shooter in Steph and a
73 games.
Play.
They won 73
And
regular season games. So they were the equivalent of the Detroit Lions of this year, right? They looked unbeatable until they got in the playoffs and got their heads beaten, right? I mean, that's what it looks like. Regular season does not matter, right? In championship time, that's where it mattered, right?
Right.
So
but
winning 73 games. This is my point. Did they win the NBA championship with the 73 wins? Yes or no?
I don't think they won that year. I think that was the year Cleveland won, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So yes. So the 73 should not be lauded as something great because they lost
73 wins to say that was a team that still was a very, very good. That was one of the greatest teams to play. They didn't win it all, but they did win 7. That was the most
record-wise, yes.
Record-wise, but they were champions. They were defending their title in that same year. So they
needed a little more to get over.
A little more. That was a lot more that they ended up getting. A little more is adding a piece here, a piece there, a nice little two-way piece, that guy that maybe comes in and gives you maybe 19 a game and can play some deep. That's a little bit more.
They needed something
you got
to offset LeBron.
Scorer in
they would have not beat that Cleveland team. They would have not, if they had played them again the following season without Kevin Durant.
Well, what does that say then?
They would have not beat.
That means they needed to. So they had to stack up to beat who? LeBron. That's all it was. And
that means that Kevin Durant.
We needed KD to beat LeBron. There was no way we was going to beat LeBron without KD.
Okay, so that means that Kevin Durant has to be greater than Steph Curry. This is the crux of this conversation. If you need him to beat LeBron, and let's say LeBron at his apex was the best player in the league, had the East on lock, and you stack a team and you fly all the way to where was it? They flew out to the Hamptons to beg him, and what's his name? Who now was calling him all kind of names on the sideline. Needed him to join their team to beat LeBron. You have to be better, right? It's addition by subtraction.
I'll give you that argument. I will say that what you're saying is right. I will concede to that, but I will say that the counter to that, though, although what you're saying is right, but when it's all said and done, you still have Steph Curry, who ended up still winning 2 chips without KD. KD, on the other hand, has not won, has not sniffed a championship, hasn't come to a conference final, has been deplorable pretty much in playoffs.
I wouldn't say deplorable. When you went up against Boston, yes, it was very bad. But if you think about it,
and had all 3 players there too, him, Harden, and Kyrie.
But think about this: how does 7'7" Giannis end up under Kyrie's ankles? Think about this. Is what you're not factoring in, and it's because and it's because you hate KD and you hate the Brooklyn Nets. But if anybody that watched that series understands that the Brooklyn Nets were beating Milwaukee by 30 points before Kyrie got hurt. If anybody saw that, how does Giannis 8-1 get up under Kyrie, and that changed the series?
But all right,
but even with that
goes back. Then I can make the same argument and say, just like when KD got hurt in the series against Toronto, how come Steph wasn't able to prevail, though he had no KD and he had no Clay, right? I didn't expect Kevin Durant, even though his foot was too long, right? They may have been able to overcome Milwaukee in that series, right? But
that was single-handedly by himself.
Right. He and I will let me say this. I'll put this on the record. KD balled out in that series. I will not take that away from him. He single-handedly could have beaten Milwaukee by himself. Now, had they have gone on and win a chip,
absolutely,
I don't know.
They would have.
Because I don't know if Kyrie was, if his injury was for the rest of the playoffs, or if they would have prevailed, then he would have been able to come back to the next series. I can't recall the details of that. But yes, he did ball out. But at the end of the day, D, he still didn't do it. He didn't do it in Phoenix. Not doing it in Phoenix. They're still bad in Phoenix. So well,
they have the albatross of Bradley Beal's contract. That's hamstringing them to a degree, right?
But I'm saying, D, he went to that team knowing that. Like, you got to know that, right?
No, Bradley Beal came after. Bradley Beal came after KD was there. It was KD and they were looking to.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. It was him and Booker, and
right? It was Beal. Yeah. Okay. So the albatross of Bradley Beal, no trade clause, and he's just sitting there. And Bradley Beal used to be a really great player. He was a great shooter. I think he went to Florida. He balled out. I don't know what happened to him. He got money. He got paid, and all of the hunger and desire just.
Well, he was the third best player then at that point, right? It's still Booker's team. Booker was going to still be between him and KD, 1-1A, depending upon what night it is, right? Bill was going to be the second or third best player, depending upon what was going on. And no, you're right. He did fall off. But my only thing is that when you look in contrast of their careers once they parted, Steph and KD, Steph's career still, for the most part, he had a better career. You know what I'm saying? And then KD didn't stay healthy. And I think that's still a lot to be said because KD is an injury-prone player. He doesn't stay healthy. He missed a lot of games since leaving Golden State. And it was a bad situation. And he didn't do any favors to himself by getting, locked in with Kyrie and establishing a bad culture in Brooklyn. So you don't need a coach.
It's the owner. It was the owner. Joe Tsai is the problem.
Well,
it was the owner. It was the owner. He shouldn't be an owner of an NBA team.
Yeah, he takes some culpability too. But Kyrie and KD really was bad. They were bad. They now Kyrie is a lot better, mature wise now. But back then it was really bad what they did. That was the worst collaboration that they could have ever done, particularly for KD. KD didn't give more thought to his legacy. I think he didn't do that. He should have given more. That's why I'm talking about LeBron being calculated. LeBron is very calculated when it comes because he's thinking about his legacy. He's thinking about how he's going to be remembered.
How will he measure up to the greats ahead of him, the Jordans, the Kobes, et cetera, et cetera.
LeBron will be right there. He won't be. No one's going to surpass Jordan because of public opinion. So public opinion is going to always rule in Jordan's favor. He's just too much of a cultural icon. He impacted the game and life, if you will, in so many different ways. So it's hard. LeBron, Jordan is just he's Jordan, but LeBron is right there. Ain't nobody going to.
And just as a point of reference, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant as a scorer, as a player, with the injuries, with the bad decisions to go to Brooklyn and tether himself to Kyrie, if you want to think that that's a bad idea. Yeah. And let's remember, chemistry was lost based off the fact that Kyrie from the league, from his ownership, was ostracized for putting up a link to something that Amazon, who now has all opportunities with the NFL and the NBA,
I agree.
They got no backlash. So Kyrie had sustained a lot of backlash. Chemistry was lost. He had to bend the knee, kiss the ring. He had to do a whole bunch of stuff, and they lost precious time playing together. Him, Harden, and Kevin Durant, because it would have worked.
That's why KD, but KD, that's not an out for him though, because Kyrie was you knew Kyrie was unstable, and so now I agree with all of what you said. Kyrie definitely got the bad end of that stick. You know how we feel about that. We get it. I'm not knocking that at all. But what I'm saying is that from a basketball career decision, KD knew that Kyrie was unstable. He didn't do well in Boston, trying to be a leader there, imploded there. He was a mess. So you had to know that, man, let me make sure that I'm doing the right thing, getting with this dude, because I'm about balling. Kyrie is trying to save the world and do other. He had a lot, you know, he was activism and stuff. That's not KD's thing. KD is not
Kyrie showed, but Kyrie showed when we talk about point guards that can put the ball, can take over a game.
Yeah,
Kyrie is a
hands down one of the best.
So from that standpoint, I mean, you don't know a person's actions. You don't know if they're going to. Yes, to a degree, you understand that people. And it should be for all athletes, right? It should be bigger than basketball, right? LeBron touts that, right? Bigger than basketball. I'm not going to shut up and dribble.
Right.
You know, he has books that he's.
But LeBron's a little bit more mature and has better people in his corner, I feel. So he can dabble in that because he's a little bit
he straddles the fence. He straddles the fence better, I would say. Because LeBron doesn't go full tilt, right? Because when there were issues when other, like Giannis, other superstars, when they had the issues in Milwaukee and they were ready to halt basketball, LeBron bought them. Hey, guys, let's think about this here. Let me see if I can win. Let me see if I can win a championship now. Everybody's dealing with, you know, all type of mental stuff and emotional. Let me see if I can slide on in. Let me slide on in and get a championship. That's it. Yo, so that's what he did. Yeah. So yeah, he's a master manipulator. He slid in at the most inopportune time. People's hearts are just their heartstrings are pulled. Hey, let's keep this together so I can get this right. But just as a point of reference, and we'll wrap it up, Kevin Durant has, just so you know,
okay, go ahead,
almost 6,000 more points than Stephen Curry. Just so you're aware. So a person that's injured was tethered to bad and bounced around and made seem like he's just a marginal player and let you tell it Curry's better. 6,000 more points than Steph Curry has 24,746 career points. Kevin Durant is 30,000 plus already. So I say all that to say.
All right. I mean, that's points. Yeah. I mean, that's not it's a viable stat. I agree. But I mean,
what do you mean a viable stat? Oh, third fastest. There's only 8 people with 30,000 points. Let's be clear about that. And he's the third fastest, faster than LeBron, who is Iron Man, 20 years.
We got to remember LeBron was
$2 million on his body
too. I mean, he wasn't a volume shooter like that. He didn't take a lot of shots. I mean, he orchestrated. He had a lot of assists. He did a lot of things. He was like the Magic Johnson of his day. All KD was great. Run through a pick, catch and shoot. That's all KD's game was. And
so when I say he is top 10, maybe top 5 of scorers, there should be no argument. Now, last thing.
I agree.
I just want to ask you this. I want you to think about it and give me a quick synopsis. Does LeBron James have a signature move?
No, he does not.
Is there something that you can say, man, if LeBron goes to this, it's unstoppable?
Well, okay, let me say this. I don't think it's a signature that stands out the way Dirk's did and Jordan's did, with Jordan's fall away and Dirk's back foot. But when LeBron's coming downhill, there's nobody stopping him. And when he comes downhill and does that little spin reverse layup, not the reverse under the basket layup, but he comes down and then turns around and boom, that like nobody's stopping when he's coming full steam ahead downhill. That's not there. So if you want to say that's a signature move, it's not a signature shot per se, where it's a distant shot like a fall away jumper, but LeBron has a go-to that when he comes full steam down the middle of the court, no one's getting in the way with that. And he most 9 out of 10 times is going to score or get an and one, or he's going to get a foul. So that's just what's going to happen. So yeah, I mean,
that's not what I mean by signature shot.
All right, come on, D. You could give him that. You could. It doesn't stand out the way Dirk's and Kobe or I would say Jordan's did, because Kobe took both theirs and kind of did his own thing with it, but those were the progenitors of those signature shots. And then of course Kareem had the sky hook. But I mean, at the end of the day, no. But LeBron, that was LeBron's signature. And you've heard people say it all the time. When LeBron comes full steam ahead downhill, there's nobody stopping him.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I just think I don't know if that's a signature. I wouldn't count that. I would think more of a mid-range, like let's say Kawhi Leonard has a mid-range shot that's ice, like ice water. He gets that.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I mean, he has several.
Well, Kevin
shots.
can hit from anywhere. Kevin can hit from anywhere.
So so Steph Curry. I would think that there are people that have, of course, Kareem. There are people that have distinctive. You mentioned Dirk. There are people that have distinctive signature shots that if they, no matter what, whether age, whether on their best day, on their worst day, they're going to be able to get this shot off with regularity and be able, and pretty much there's nothing you can do about it. I don't think LeBron has that, where some people might say that's impressive because he's able to have 40,000 points and don't have a signature shot. Because most of it ain't going downhill. He hasn't scored 25,000 points going downhill. Like, there has to be something, right? And he benefited from a lot of foul calls and other stuff.
Gosh.
But it's for me, I'll say this, and we can wrap it up. LeBron is collaborative GOAT, and he's a longevity GOAT. He's the greatest player for the longest amount of time. And if you play long enough, right? If you do anything long enough, you should be good at it, right?
I agree.
You should have records. You should be able. But
now answer me this question though. Can you at least give the man credit for being a 41-year-old man and playing at this level?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, the only thing that will take away from that is 10 years from now, after he has retired, he'll retire before 10 years. We find out that there was any type of
I would hope not. I would hope not.
And if we hear about that,
about Brady too, that I always feel like that would happen with Brady too. Brady could be subject to that as well. But because Brady played exceptionally well, like he didn't have any, except that last year. That's the year I say he came off the steroids finally.
Right.
So it just showed that way. Yeah, I agree. That would be, oh my God, that would just be devastating if that's, because then his whole career is a wrap. Doesn't matter. Yeah, but absolutely. Yeah, but you got to give him credit though, D. The man is still balling at a high level. He is. He's balling at a high level, and have Luka now is going to help because now a lot of that can go to Luka. Luka could pick up the scoring and let LeBron facilitate more, and I think that's what you'll see. So.
You got better offensively, defensively. You got increasingly.
Oh no! But it's not about this year. It's about the years to come. They're gonna build the defense around Luka. Oh no, trust me, they're gonna build a team around Luka. No one cares about this year. This year's a wrap. LeBron's not winning another final. It's
said like someone who has accepted the tablespoon of defeat that they're gonna have. Like, I don't want to hear later if you have any glimpses. And we going to the, because you just said we were going to the conference championship.
I said I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't be surprised, but now you want to say nobody cares about this.
But here's what I did say: depending upon what may happen, and I didn't probably elaborate on that. If God forbid, right? Because we want everybody to be healthy. But if there's an injury or something that works in our favor when another team gets bumped off, then maybe, right? Because that kind of happened a little bit. With Memphis, right? Ja got hurt.
Looking for the injury
guys. That's the only way. That's the only way. That's realistic. That's the only way that they would get to a conference final. But I can see the Lakers getting past the first round. I do think they'll get past the first round. I do. I think that could very well happen.
I don't know. They're fourth, right? So I don't know 4 or 5. I don't know who fifth is. But I mean, I don't know. Could you beat the Clippers? I don't know.
Yes. I think we can, and we smacked the Clippers up the other day. Last week. We smacked them up.
The season started. The season starts,
and that was without AD. That was with no AD and no Luka.
The season starts this week, right? This is what you said. The season starts. So don't tell me about what they did last week. I want to hear what they do this week, moving forward through June, right?
All the way through June. This is where it gets. This is where
you guys won't be there in June, but I get what you're saying.
We won't be there in June. We won't be there in June. We just got to beat the teams we got to beat. You got Charlotte come. Well, that was that game. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Where am I at? Hold on, my fault. So we got the Charlotte game that was postponed. We got to play them on the 19th in Portland. Portland's actually been playing pretty good. But but then we got Denver coming up, on Saturday, and it's going to get juicy. Then you got Dallas. But no AD. That's the only thing that takes away from that.
And I feel bad because I think that Dallas had, but you know what? Even if AD played and he was fully healthy, they would be more competitive but they lost all their big men in 15 minutes.
I mean, it was crazy.
They had people's feet breaking. They had someone else's knee dislocated. I mean, they had all types of stuff. It was.
I ain't gonna lie, son.
As my parents would say, they had buzzard luck. They had buzzard luck all at one time. It was just unbelievable.
Oh God!
Gafford, he's been balling out. He was hurt. The other dude, they're all their treetops was all hurt at one time. And then Anthony Davis.
Yeah, so Davis is out for a month. I think they brought back Davis too soon, though. He wasn't ready to come back.
Yeah, because they just wanted to make the splash. Yeah, justify the trade.
And
but the first half, he looked fantastic. The first half.
I ain't gonna lie, I was so happy for AD because I miss AD, man. Because AD could ball. He's another one who I feel don't get the credit that he deserves. To me, in my opinion, there was no better two-way player in the game than Anthony Davis. No better player.
And do they win their championship in 2020 without Anthony Davis?
No, they do not. No way.
Okay, so he was the best player on that team, was he not? Where your eyes going? He was the best player on that team. I think he averaged 28 points. Where your eyes going?
Where your eyes going?
Your eyes were watching the whole time. Now all of a sudden they want to go off into yeah. He was the best player on that team.
He said, "Where your eyes going?
Where your eyes going?"
Oh man, because I was like, "Wait."
Oh man.
Oh god.
Oh,
you know, stupid D. He said, "Where your eyes?" I ain't gonna lie, my eyes was
trying to refocus and look off. But yeah, man. In any case, thanks everyone for joining. Man, shout out to SKRAPP once again. Congratulations to Philadelphia Eagles, man. You guys deserve it. Please rewatch the show. Like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube. We thoroughly enjoyed everyone that jumped in, the comment, questions, and different things that we addressed. If there's anything you want us to address, leave a comment. Our next show, we will start to highlight more of the NBA now that the season, according to Rod, the season has started.
The season started. Yeah. And we're going to try to give y'all some more shows. Our schedules have been crazy.
Yes,
I've been so just off the chain busy. I think it's more on me than the guys.
It is him. It is him. I don't want to throw him under the bus. It is.
Yeah, but so let me just throw. I'm gonna do a KD, and I'm gonna ride the bus and then drive myself over the bus, and I'm gonna do a KD. And yeah, it's on me. It is definitely on me more than the fellas because I've been taking on all these projects and different things.
We're the bus riders. He is the driving force. And if he's not here, listen.
No, Don is the one. There'd be no show if it wasn't for Don. Don is the one that he's the glue that holds the show together, puts all of these things you see happening. Don is the man that holds us down. Trust me. Me and SKRAPP just show up and we just, talk our talk. But Don is the one he puts our agenda together. He's the producer. He's the executive producer. He's the director. He does it all. Right. So it's really Don, ladies and gentlemen. Don is the one for real. You know what I mean? So I gotta do more. I gotta do better with some effort here. Even if our shows get a little shorter, but because you know what it is, we go at it and then we'll get off top.
And especially if it builds up and we haven't talked on face to face for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
And it could be one thing that just sets us off, and then we go into a 20 or 30 minute spiral, which we'll be better about that. But we'll be more consistent. We'll talk about the NBA, and we'll talk in clusters. Obviously the major games that we want to see.
Absolutely.
And as the cream's going to rise to the top, right? As we progress, injuries, the great equalizer, are going to take shape like they did with Dallas Mavericks, and so. We'll see how the teams start to go down the stretch, but we'll be consistent about it. And it was a fantastic show. Shout out to everyone that was here. We appreciate it. Shout out to SKRAPP. Rod, I appreciate you being here. Until next time, everybody. Peace.